Hey guys, Sean again, Custom Offsets TV on the YouTube. Got another episode of Hot and New, and it's going to be episode 22, and this is our hot wheel. This one's been around for a while. Definitely had their challenges with back order. I know they had some stuff going on between the PVD and the chrome. They're now back to chrome plated, and it looks like they're back in stock. Can still be hit and miss depending on your size and bolt pattern. But this is the Hostile wheel, and this is the Havoc, H-A-V-O-C, because H-A-V-O-K is a totally different company. That's Havoc Wheels. This is a Havoc with a C, so this is a Hostile Havoc. And this one comes in 18, 20, in the 20s they got like a 20 by 9 and a few offsets, and then they got a 20 by 10, and that's I think a negative 19. It's a perfect level truck offset and width. And then they've got the 20 by 12, and then they go up to a 22 by 14, which is what this one is. A 22 by 14 will run you around $2,400 for all four of them strippered to your door. I'm just kidding, we're gonna ship them. Shipped to your door in chrome would be about $2,400. Now, you'll see on the website there's an email me for a better price. If you hit that, we will personally set up a quote for you guys. We can usually do a little better than that price if you've got the time to let us shoot you a quote. So this is the wheel. So it's 22 by 14. And this one we've got set up with a massive 375/45/22 tire. So that's a 15-inch wide tire on there. So you get a perfectly straight up and down sidewall. What's interesting about this wheel is that these, what do we call those, juniors? These bump outs, these ridges on here basically come out past the tire. It gives it a really cool look, especially when it's rolling down the street. You can actually see these chrome, what do we just call them? Bump outs actually going down the street. Makes for a cool look. The lip on this one for a 14 wide is about 6.5 inches. Now that's a pretty short lip for a 14-inch wide. And if you've been watching along, you're seeing that some of the 12 wides are getting 7.5-inch lips. So to have a 6.5 on a 14 wide is actually pretty shallow when it comes to lip size. What you'll see is the reason that's happening, if you look at these spike lug nuts, a lot of times you'll see they stick out way past the center cap. They're not because they're sucked in there, because this spoke is so thick. The spoke on this one when it starts is like over 2 inches thick. So it's got a really, really thick, blocky design to it, and then the spokes tip forward a little bit. So that's why you're losing that lip, because even though it's a negative 76 offset on a 14 wide, the fact these tip forward and the fact that this is so thick is basically causing it to eat up some of that lip size. The good news is it's a chrome wheel, so it still looks super, super deep because of all the reflection. But I have to be honest, I do wish it had, you know, an 8-9 inch lip like some of the 14 wide negative 76s that we've been seeing. So you'll notice the other thing is this is an 8 lug, and obviously they're exposed lug nuts. That's why I was running the spike lug nuts. And then because it's 8 lug, it's got 8 spokes. And you'll see that a lot of times that a 6 lug will be a 6 spoke, a 5 lug will be a 5 spoke, and then the 8 lug will be an 8 spoke. Mainly because, one, it's good on the eyes in the geometry of it, but also that beefs up the wheel as far as the structural strength of it. So that's pretty much, well, let's talk about finishes. So this one will come in either an all black or black and milled. So it'll be black and then they'll have the edges milled, or the chrome, as you can see. And like I said, this is a true chrome plated. This is not the PVD anymore. They're back to the traditional chrome. I think they had some troubles with PVD, so they went back to what they know and went back to chrome. So that's a Hostile Havoc. So in the size wise, you can see they're pretty competitive. The 2400 sounds like a lot because it's a 22 by 14 negative 76. It's a lot of wheel, and it's also chrome, so that's why it sounds like so much money. But the typical size 20 by 10, 20 by 12 are super competitive with the like sizes. So we still love Hostile, still love what they're putting out. Great looking wheels. They, in my opinion, they have some of the coolest, some of the most edgy designs, which is what I love when you look at the switchblades and whatnot. So it's a cool wheel. That's why we're running her on CO2. It's the one that I currently is my favorite choice. But like I said, I could use a little more lip, so I felt a little shorted there. But I'm sure it's Hostile. They'll keep bringing you badassery. It'll keep getting better. So that is another episode of Hot New. Make sure you subscribe to us on youtube.com/custom offsets. And also come out to customoffsets.com. Check out these wheels. Check out some of our pricing. Check out some of our wheel care products. I just hit this one with the chrome and polished wheel, floss gloss, and also some of our back to black on the sidewall. So, peace.